tiger eyes, hearts in them. Okay, it's cashmere and creamy vanilla. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I think this is my marker. We had an excellent class yesterday. Yesterday we taught about intuition. I actually think I'm going to run that class again. Yeah, I know you did. That's why I ain't call you, Cheyenne. That's why I ain't called you. I was like, I think she need to process what's going on. That's why I was like, I ain't going to bother her. Because I felt like you needed to process. I did too. I needed to get my mind together. I'm like, what is that? That's the paper in my thing. Yeah. I felt that. I was like, I ain't going to bother her. We'll talk. Okay. But everything's going to be okay though. You're going to be good. Oh, the podcast was great last night, y'all. It was I love Jazz. She's so dope. Make sure y'all follow her. Now I'm cold. She's so dope. Okay. It was great last night, you guys. Hey, Sierra. How you doing, sister? It was great last night. We talked about false prophets, warlocks, all of that. So I was breaking all of that down and stuff like that. How to know the difference. She was telling her experience, which was crazy. So it was really good last night. Hopefully you guys can see this whole entire board because I am going to be writing on it. Okay. So if you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Tiffany from 7th Harmony Place, also founder and leader of Harmony Leadership Academy. We had a great intuitive deep dive class last night. I do need to stretch that out longer so that we can do more, hands-on interactive work. This Thursday, we're going to be doing astrology and birth charts this Thursday. So I'm excited for that. And then what else we got coming up? And then tomorrow is our final ceremony class for tier 1. Yeah, it was fun. It was very fun. It's Jasmine the Wizard. Jasmine the Wizard. So let me see if I can invite her in here. Let me see if I can invite Jazz in here. Let me see. So today we're going to be talking about timelines. Okay. All right, so we're going to be talking about timelines. How many of y'all in the chat know what a timeline is? You know what it is. You don't know what it is. You like Tiffany. I don't know what it is. I have an inkling of what it might be. Okay. Comment below if you know what a timeline is. And I'm not going to be long. Okay. I promise I'm not going to be long today. But I found my tarot card. I found 2 boxes of tarot cards I did not throw out. And I had used them yesterday. Okay. You guys know what they are. You know what it is. I had the shirt in white the other day. Oh, you had this shirt in, yeah. Half hood, half holy. That means pray with me, don't play with me. Period. Okay, I love that. Okay. So basically a timeline is not just a future. It's a direction of your life that is moving based on your current choices, beliefs, nervous system, and identity. So your timeline moves based off of your belief system. What do you believe about yourself? It also moves based off of your nervous system. That's how you shift and change timelines. And then the last one is your actual identity and choices. Identity and your choices. Okay, this is how you can determine a timeline. So what I have here is basically we're going to go over today timeline structure. Okay, it's based on you. Oh, let me take this out. Okay, timeline move based on you and the choices that you make. All right, Amaya. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so you guys can see that right there. So this is how you shift the timeline. When you shift your belief system, check. When you shift your nervous system, check. When you own your identity and your authority, check. And when you make better choices or different choices, check. Okay, so those are the things that make up an actual timeline. Now I'm going to break down to you timeline structures. My son is bothering me right now. All right, we're going to break down in this live, and I'm going to talk fast. So you can either stream record me, you can stream record it, screenshot it, whatever you got to do, okay? I'm going to be talking fast. What I'm about to talk to you about now is Tier 3 program teaching, okay? So I'm going to talk to you what a hijacked timeline looks like, what happens when your crown gets hijacked, and also breaking down the timeline structure, okay? So first, let's talk about the positive timeline. So we're going to talk about timelines are broken into T plus is the positive. This is T plus level. And then over here, we're going to put the T negative levels. Okay, so this is how you're going to basically structure out when you're talking about timeline work. You got the T plus, this is a little T plus, and then you got T negative timelines. You can be on either or, okay? Yes, I'm going to talk about that too in Maya. That's parallel timelines. We're going to talk about parallel timelines in a second. So the first one, a T plus, you have the T plus 1. You have T plus 1 all the way up to 10. T plus 1, 2, well, let's skip 2. Let's go to 3. 5, 7, 9, and 10. And I got a little bit of the sniffles, just a little bit, okay? I'm going to drink me some honey and some lemon in a second. Okay, so these are all the different timelines. These are the good ones, okay? These are the ones where you want to actually be. This is where you want to be at, okay? So the T plus 1 is that you have small relief. You seeing small shifts happen in your life. Things may be moving good, but still kind of slow. You could be on a T plus timeline, T plus 1 timeline. This is kind of like you got off this karmic timeline. We should do the karmic stuff first, right? So that's that one. The T plus timeline is that you're more calm and you're making better decisions. Better decisions. Now, these really go from 1 to 10. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but they really go from 1 to 10 each level. And then 5 is where you get opportunities and things are starting to be consistent in your life. Opportunities and consistency in life. Okay, so let's say if Paula wants to really get back in the gym. Paula really wants to get back in the gym. Paula go to the gym one day, then she skip 3 days, then she wait a whole month till she get back in the gym. What timeline would Paula be on between the T plus 1 and the T5? Which one would she be on? Is she on a T1 timeline, T3 timeline, or is she on a T5 timeline? Which timeline would she actually be on? What timeline is Paula on? If she just skipping the gym, she go when she want to go. Do you guys know what? Yes, she is on a T1 timeline. Yes, thank you. She's on a T1 timeline. She's making small changes, small relief. Okay, small changes, small release. So she's on a T1 timeline. T7 timeline is when your authority, how many of y'all understand what your authority is? This is when your authority stabilizes. Okay, your authority stabilizes, your income is stable, your respect is stable, your ranking is going up. This is going to be the T. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to put the T negative over here because y'all probably ain't even going to be able to see this far. So I'm going to put the T, I'm going to erase this and put the T negative over here in a second, okay? Because y'all probably ain't even going to be able to see that far over, okay? The next one here is going to be the T9, T10. This is the one we want to actually strive to. We're going to put these together. We're going to put this, and I may be able to put the negative ones down here. Let's put the negative ones down here. Okay. This is the one we all are striving for. You want to ask me what timeline I'm on? Y'all probably like, what timeline are you on? I'm on T8, okay? So T9, T10, this is where you're in your full leadership embodiment. Because every last one of y'all are leaders, okay? And this is full leadership embodiment, okay? So that's those timelines right there. The next one we're going to talk about is the negative ones. This is the ones where you are, if you're listening to like karmic readings and negative readings and all that stuff like that, this would be these timelines here. So you got T plus 3 plus 5 plus 7. Okay, hopefully you guys are following me. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a few scenarios in a second. Okay, so this one right here, T negative 1, is horrible. This one is here where you doubt yourself, you overthink, you're overthinking, you're on a negative timeline, okay? This is completely different from karmic lessons. So you got timeline work, okay? Then you got karmic lessons, just to break it down. And then you got wounds that you need to heal. When you come here, you got current life wounds, and you got past life wounds that you need to heal. Okay, not just this lifetime, you got past life wounds that you need to heal. So these are all 3 different things, because the timeline is how is all about your motion. This is motion. This is your everyday. You can shift your timeline as soon as you shift this stuff right here, right? But then sometimes people get hijacked on their timeline and they go through spiritual warfare on their timeline. So it affects how your nervous system is reacting to things. You need a little help. It affects how the choices that you make on your daily life and things of that sort. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. We're going to talk about hijacked timelines and parallel timelines in a second. So basically you have karmic lessons and you have wounds. These are 3 different things, okay? So they're not the same thing. Now, when we go back over here to T3, this is where you're repeating old patterns. Repeating old patterns. Okay? That's the T3, okay? And you are emotionally triggered. Okay? So you can really live multiple timelines if you're living in like a parallel one. Okay, you make good choices. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, and then the next one is T5. I'm sorry, these are negative, not plus. These are negative timelines. These are when you're in negative timelines. T5, and let me push this down just a little bit more. T5 negative timeline is when you are financially stressed. Anybody in here financially stressed? If you're financially stressed or you're in chaos, you're in a T negative 5 timeline. A T7 timeline is that you're completely burnt out. You are done, okay? You're confused. You got loss of direction. This is horrible. I don't think I ever seen anybody with a T7 timeline. And you got complete loss of direction. If you do, your karmic load could be really heavy. Okay, and then you got the T9/10 timeline. This is where you're completely collapsed. Your whole identity collapsed. Your whole energy is gone. Okay, this is collapse. And you're basically spiritually fatigued. You're tapped out right here on this timeline. This is horrible right here. Okay. So so again, let's break this down. Okay. So we said Paula, right? Hey Nene. So let's say if we got Paula right, Paula go to work every single day. I want y'all to tell me if she's on a positive or negative timeline. Paula go to work every day, right? Paula seems to be very enthusiastic when she's at work and when she's in front of people. But when she go home, she's depressed, she's sad, she can't find love, she don't know if she coming or going. What timeline do you think Paula is living under? Is she living on a positive time of she don't know if she coming or going? What timeline do you think Paula is living under? Is she living on a positive timeline? Chaos, burnt out, confusion, and loss of direction for T7, T9, 10, identity collapse, and spiritual fatigue. Which one is she? She's on a negative timeline. Hey, Vera. Yes, I would think so too, Eric. She could be possibly on both timelines. Like she over here, she could be possibly in a parallel one, where she may be living in the front of everybody. She's on a T1. She's not in alignment. So when you are not in alignment, you live in a parallel timeline here. Parallel. Am I spelling parallel right? Probably not. Hold on, y'all. My brain be overloaded too. Parallel. Is it L-E-L-L? Okay. I don't even know how to spell, y'all. Yeah. Okay. It's A. L-L-E-L. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Parallel. Okay. So she could be on a T+1, and then what's the negative? Give me a negative that she could be living on. I can't spell. What's the negative timeline that Paula is living on? Paula is living on a negative. What negative timeline? She's in a parallel timeline. What would be the negative one? Doubt and overthinking. She's fine when she at work, but when she get home, she's sad, she's depressed, she ain't got love, she confused, she don't know if she's coming or she's going. T-1, nope, she's a little bit further on the timeline. Overthinking, no, that could be it, but she a little bit more farther in. She might be here in the T-7, maybe even T-3. So she's in somewhere between, I want to say 3 and 5. She's almost about to go into 7. So let's say 3, because she's emotionally triggered. She don't have love. She keep doing the same thing over and over again. So Paula is on T+1, T-3 parallel. She's living a parallel, like literally a parallel universe. She is in 2 different timelines. When she go home, she's emotionally triggered. She don't have love. When you go home and you be sad and you feel triggered when you sad, but when you at work, you feel like, you feel a little uppity, a little like I got an energy when you at work. It's a little small relief right here, right? But when you go home, she's repeating the same old pattern. She's doing the same thing. She's coming home, she's sad. She go to work. She coming home, she's sad. She go to work. She coming home, she's sad. So she's on this timeline right here, okay? So timelines respond to who you're being, not what you want. Desire alone does not move your timeline. Embodiment does. So I want you to understand that even though she may desire love, that's not going to move her timeline. She has to actually embody what? Love. Okay? The embodiment, she has to embody love. Yeah, so it responds to who you're being. Who you're being. That's why they tell you, if you get up and act like you already, if you want to be married, get up and act like you already married. Be married, okay? Live in the timeline you already want to live in, okay? Why does she feel stuck? Most people think they're stuck, but they're not. They're actually integrating. Okay, so this is another thing too. When people actually shift timelines, people don't understand that they have to go through a process that's called integration and stabilization. Integration and stabilization. You got to go through stabilization and you have to go through integration after you do shifting and timeline work and stuff like that. Okay. So when a timeline shift, the movement pauses a little bit. So you go through this is the phase that you go through when you pause. Okay? Old behaviors start to fall away. The energy starts to collide and life gets real quiet. You're like, what's going on with my life right now? Nothing's moving. And you may feel like nothing's moving, but it is actually on the spiritual realm. Now, we're going to talk about 3 different types of Actually 4. We're going to talk about 4 different types of timelines and things of that sort. Hopefully you guys got this written down. I'm not going to be on here long. I know I always say that. Anybody got any questions right now? That's you right now. Yeah, you're in a pause. You're ready to go through this right here. Integration and stabilization. Yeah, so I'll let you know tonight how long this is going to last, okay? But anywho, so we are ready to go into the second part. Hopefully you guys got this. If you just came in, I'm going over to teaching timeline stuff today. Do I have a book or something? I don't have a book on this. I teach it in my tier 2, tier 3 program. I'm going to read the timelines again. Okay, hopefully not long. Yeah, it could last somewhere like a couple of weeks up to 6 weeks because I'm going through it too. I shifted timeline, so I'm like in a pause. It's peaceful. It's quiet. I'm not under anything or going through anything, so it's peaceful. So I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm gonna let it process through. But I just shifted to T8. So I was up here when I first started my timeline work. I was on T4. So, do I have any books? No, I don't have any books. I am working on my book, and it should be done by January the 1st, Spiritual Warfare. So basically how to fight spiritual warfare, what spiritual warfare is, and all of that stuff like that. So it's going to have angelic and demonic hierarchy in the actual book as well, too. So you'll know what you're actually going up to warfare with. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that as well, too. So if you just came in, hello and welcome. I'm going to go over this before I erase it. We are teaching today about timeline work, okay? So again, timeline is basically your belief system you're currently on, your nervous system, your identity, and your choices. And if you're going through integration and stabilization in your pause, you want to re-look at all of this. If you feel a pause right now in your life, go and research your belief system, find new beliefs, new traditions. Research your nervous system. Do your nervous system feel calm, chaotic? Do it feel anxiety? Do it get triggered? Do it feel abandonment? Things of that. Go through a new identity. What are you claiming? Okay. So when I first started, I started out as a reader, and then I went from a reader to an oracle, and then from an oracle to a high priestess, and then, you know, all around the board, empress energy. So what identity do you want to claim as yourself right now? Okay, so that's what, remember, we want to embody that. We're not desiring to be something. We're embodying that energy. We're walking in it. And then the next one is choices. What choices do you need to make, or better choices you need to make? Over here is the T levels, okay? T is timeline. You either are on a positive timeline frequency or you're on a negative timeline frequency. The positive timeline frequency, T+1, which is kind of the bottom, but it's better than being in a negative. This is when you get out of the negative timeline and you're on a positive timeline. Now, before I broke down with you guys before what a shadow timeline is, a karmic timeline is, and a divine timeline is. And I'm not going to explain these today, but I talked about these on another live before, okay? For the sake of time, okay? So T+1 is small relief. T+3 is you're calm, you're making better decisions. T+5, you got opportunities coming in. Your life is kind of consistent. T+7 is that you're now stepping into your authority. Your authority is stabilizing. This is what I'm kind of going through. I'm going through that T7, T8 energy where they want me right now to embody the authority that I'm actually moving into. So that's another thing as well too. So the more you grow spiritually, the more your ranking goes higher, the more authority you get, the more your energy shifts and things of that sort. Okay, then the next one is a T+9, 10 timeline, which is full leadership embodiment. You're fully in leadership. These would be the people that you kind of see, you know, they're in their leadership role, they're teaching, healing, moving, growing, running businesses, things of that sort. That would be this timeline right here. Okay? Now, if you're on a negative timeline, T-1 is going to be doubt and overthinking. T-3 is you're repeating old patterns. How many of you are still repeating old patterns? This is the timeline that you need to get off of, okay? Like I said, Paula, she works out one day, but then Paula doesn't work out, you know, for 3 more days, or she waits to the next month to even work out. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are not putting yourself on negative timelines, okay? Then you got the T-5, financial stress and chaos timeline. This is where you're going through complete financial breakdown. Maybe you're restarting. There's nothing wrong with restarting. I just got out of a 24-year marriage a few years ago, and I'm restarting my life as well too. Like, I'm not gonna say restarting, I'm rebuilding. That's what I can say. I'm rebuilding my life. I lost everything through my marriage. I lost my house, my cars. I was homeless. I was still doing my business, but I lost everything, okay? My plants, my dog, my cat died, everything. I lost everything through a 24-year marriage. So I'm right now in the process of rebuilding, and Texas is just now starting to feel like home. Even when I moved here, I was moving all over the place. My finances was all over the place. I didn't really know how to rebuild structure. And even though I was the one that built the structure and the control in the marriage, it was like when you're doing it by yourself, it's completely different. So I had to relearn and retrain myself all over again for that. Okay. So that was that, right? So some of you could be going through that. Maybe you went through a breakup. Maybe you went through a divorce. Maybe you had to rebuild yourself back up, okay? That would be the financial stress and chaos. The next one, T-7, is going to be burnt out, confusion, and loss of direction. This is when your timeline gets totally set back, okay? And then the last one is that you're going through a complete identity collapse. This is this energy over here. Remember how, well, not remember, but if you ever hear anybody say like, oh, you fell from grace, things of that sort, then that would be, I forgot to put the candles on here. I don't know if I can pin all of them. But yeah, make sure you guys check out the candles in the shop. Oh, there it is right there. I think I did it. Whew. I talk fast, don't I, y'all? Okay, I feel like once I started to actually go into my leadership role, I let doubt push me into T-1. Wow. Oh, doubting and overthinking. Yeah. Well, you that would have been like you did a whole collapse. If you went from leadership is up here. Authority, leadership is up here somewhere. And you went all the way down to T-1, that's not good. You may be down here like a T+1, but not negative, okay? I think you just probably need to regain your faith again. Like, you know, regain your faith and regain your strength. And sometimes as a leader, you go through that on your journey. That doesn't mean that you're on a negative timeline. Negative timeline is that you just doubting everything. You don't doubt yourself. Sometimes you could have a little bit of energetic setback, or you could be living on two parallel timelines. And we're going to talk about that, because when people are attacking you doing spiritual warfare or trying to hijack your codes or your crown or anything like that, that will set you back into a parallel timeline. I'm going to show y'all how those work in a second. Okay, so this is identity collapse, spiritual fatigue. Anytime you're shifting from one timeline to the next timeline, you are going to go through a process called integration and stabilization phase. And this is a pause phase that you go through. Remember, even though you're shifting timelines, you still got to do your karmic lessons. You still got to work on your wounds. That does not take that off the table, okay? And the more you do more wound healing, the more you learn lessons more. Because karmic lessons sometimes come in the form of people or ancestral habits. But the more you heal those things, the more you go up further in the timeline levels, okay? So I'm going to erase this, and now we're going to talk about hijacked timelines, crown timelines, and parallel timelines, okay? If you guys are interested, I do teach this in my tier towards the end of tier 2, and tier 3 is all nothing but timelines and contract mastery, okay? All right. So I teach in tier 3 how to actually shift timelines and how to close contracts. But it's towards the end of tier 2, going into 3, okay? Okay. Remember, in order for you to shift timelines, your nervous system has to be regulated. So I'm not going to erase this, okay? Now, let's go and hijack timelines. We're going to break down hijack timelines. Let's put timelines up here for those of you that's coming in. It's really cool how this stuff really works, okay? All right, so let's go into hijack timeline first. Let's break this down first, okay? A hijack timeline is basically occurs when the momentum was present, but then it suddenly derailed. So the energy is there, but then it gets derailed. And y'all know what that is? That's when you are there, you got the momentum, you in your groove, you rolling, you rocking. Then you go to the gas station and you meet Carlos at the gas station. That's a hijacked timeline. You met Carlos at the gas station. And when you met Carlos at the gas station, you went completely this way. You was going this way. And you met Carlos and you went over here and you went that way. Okay. So that's what that means when your timeline gets derailed. It's either when you meet somebody, you make a bad choice, a bad decision. Okay. And that's how your timeline gets hijacked, sister. Okay. So these are the causes of timeline hijacking. The first one is trauma during expansion. That's why you ever hear people say, I gotta stay focused. Trauma during expansion. You right on the tip of an expansion. You right on the tip of a growth spurt. And as soon as you about to grow, boom, they send Carlos in, or they send you in making a wrong decision. They send some type of sadness in, or they send some type of energy in. Boom. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you gotta stay locked in. You gotta stay focused. That's what that means, okay? The next one is a betrayal. See, can't nobody get me with this. I don't give a damn about no betrayal. I don't give a damn about no Carlos. I don't care about none of that. Nothing is losing my focus off of what I'm supposed to do. You either gonna walk beside me, not beneath me. You're gonna come, whether you're my friend, lover, whoever. You're gonna walk beside me, and we're gonna grow together, or it's just gonna be a no. Okay. Okay. Yeah, they sent you a track. Exactly. Also, how you can get it is through spiritual manipulation. Spiritual manipulation. Do you guys know what this is? This is when you get a bad reading. Okay. Bad spiritual work. Okay. You listening to collective readings and you think it's your story and it's not your damn story. Okay, that's spiritual manipulation. That's why they tell you take what resonates or applies to you. That also hijacks your timeline. Okay, so you got to make sure you're not under spiritual manipulation. And the only way to make sure you're not under spiritual manipulation is to know thyself. You have to know yourself. Okay, you have to know your intuition. Okay. The next one is authority being challenged or undermined. Okay, when somebody is trying to question your authority. If your authority is being challenged, this will also mess up your timeline as well too. And the last one, emotional shock. And what I always tell y'all on here, please make sure you're working on your emotions, because if your emotions is not regulated or balanced, it will throw your whole timeline and your manifestations off. It's going to throw your timeline in. I didn't even get to talking about manifestations. We got to do that on another live. But it'll throw your whole manifestations off if your emotions and nervous system is not regulated, okay? So this is what hijack is. So what is some symptoms of a hijacked timeline? The first one is you're going to feel suddenly exhausted, always tired. My spirit team, they protect me from burnout. They will not let me overdo myself. So they're not going to send too much in where I get burnt out. Okay. You have a loss of confidence. Okay. You don't feel confident no more. Delays after progress. Things are not moving. Delays after you had progress. Okay. Anybody know who actually hijacks these timelines? Can anybody comment who hijacks these? And then self-doubt. You completely self-doubting yourself. So who are the type of people that hijack these types of timelines? Let's put it over here. You're going to get warlocks. You're going to get witches. You're going to get narcissists. And then you're just going to get manipulators. Oh, parasites. Parasites and demonics. Okay, parasites and demonic energies, they also want to hijack. Okay, and manipulators. Why do they want to hijack it? The purpose of hijacking it, I don't know where I could fit this at, is to put you on a parallel timeline. So if they could put you on a negative timeline, they take your positive opportunities, all your positive energy, and they will redirect it to somebody else that they find in their favor to live a more positive timeline. So that's how it is. They just take your energy and they just hijack it and give your timeline. You over here living in this timeline. You like, I know I feel like I'm destined for great. I'm supposed to be getting these opportunities. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing that. Why am I not feeling that and all of that? What's going on here? Well, what happens is they'll take your stuff and put you in a negative timeline and put somebody else, give it to somebody else, and put them on it's called a false crown, a false timeline. There's also false eggs too, but I'm not going to get into that, okay? There's false eggs. False eggs are planted in your sacral and your womb. There's also false timelines that people live on, which a lot of these big people do. I'm not going to get on that either. And then there's also false, what was the other one? I forgot the third one I said. I said timelines, eggs. I don't know what the other one is. I forgot. Okay, my mind went blank. Okay, so that's all hijacked stuff. Okay, that's all of that. That's what happens. And what are they actually hijacking? They hijacking your crown. Your crown, which your crown holds different types of rubies, energies, all of that stuff in there. And then they're also hijacking your codes. You have DNA codes and codes that are embedded in your spiritual DNA that do certain things. Those are part of your gifts as well too. People think that their gifts are just the clairs and intuition and psychic and all of that good stuff. But there's also gifts that are code. You have codes that are basically imprinted in your DNA. Spiritual DNA, not your blood DNA, your spiritual body DNA that you have codes. You can have womb codes, solar plexus codes, throat chakra codes, crown codes, you know what I'm saying? Wealth codes, things of that sort. And so you're able to do certain things. You basically came here with a backpack of codes. You came here with a backpack of codes so that you can use them for your spiritual journey. So people think that just, oh, I want to get in my gifts. I want to get in my gifts. And they think that, oh, I just want to be a reader, a psychic, a healer. But what are you? You got to go a little bit more deeper to that. That's surface level stuff. You don't understand that you may have womb codes, which is the power to completely clear somebody's wound out of ancestral trauma, timeline work, like that. All that stuff holds inside a woman's womb. So you got the code to come and just push all of that out. If you got a throat chakra code, your voice activates people. If you got crown codes, your authority and all of that is more high, like you're more higher connected. So you got straight throne room access. That's a gift. If you got root chakra codes, that's a wealth code gift. So that's like you're able to clear poverty off of somebody's entire timeline or their ancestral timeline. Those is what they're after. Okay. All right. Yes, that is how people will literally steal from you. That's what it is when they say people are stealing from you spiritually, is that they can't really take it. What they do is they mimic it and they put you on another timeline. So if they could come in and put you on another timeline, they can mimic. They basically just mimic your energy over here. But once you awaken, like I said, you know yourself and you awaken into these things, then boom, you back in business, baby. Okay. I literally had to go get I have 3 throat chakra keys, and I had to get one from a Lyrian timeline where my key was stolen. And so I had to go reclaim my key and all of that stuff. That's working in Akashic work, okay? All right, so let's move on, okay? So next, that's the hijack. Next, we're going to get into talking about crown hijacking, which is really different. I just talked about hijack timeline, but now let's get into somebody hijacking your crown. That's this energy over here, okay? So again, I am going to be talking fast because I can't be on here too long. I got stuff to do. All right, make sure you guys check out the TikTok shop. Get your candle, get your 2026 overflow candle, okay? So now we're going to be talking about the crown, your crown hijack. This is not a timeline. This is just somebody trying to take your identity, honey. They want your identity. You ever see like a single white female, not race or anything, but basically the movie where they completely copy off everything that you're doing? This is what crown. They want to hijack your identity and they want to hijack your authority. This is a crown hijacking. And so basically this is an attack. So you have to understand what type of spiritual attacks you be under and why you're under these spiritual attacks. Okay, this is a very specific form of hijacking. What the crown hijack affects, it affects your confidence, your voice, and your discernment. Okay, your leadership and visibility, discernment, your leadership, and your visibility. Okay, that's what the crown hijacking does. Okay, y'all with me so far? Yeah, that's what that does. Yeah, it doesn't really play on your reality. That's more like timeline stuff. This is hijacking. This is like, oh, you know who would be a perfect example of this? Like, remember Kim Kardashian, and I think it was Britney, not Britney. Who was the girl she was with? Paris or something? You know how they became friends and stuff? They were friends, but it's like, what you call, yeah, Paris. Yeah, and she went a different route. Paris completely collapsed. Yeah, so that would be an example, I guess you can say, close to somebody doing a crown hijacking. Because they did a whole little documentary thing on that, okay? So I ain't accusing nobody of anything. This is for entertainment purposes only, but I'm keeping it real, okay? So that would be an example, so to speak, of somebody hijacking somebody's actual crown. So when you steal somebody's crown, you're stealing basically their authority and their identity. Like I said, this is where you get a lot of mimics and you attract a lot of watchers. So you attract a lot of people that spy on you, gang stalk you, all of that stuff like that. They're mimicking everything you're doing. Your hair yellow, they hair yellow. Your hair pink, they hair pink. You got purple on, they got purple on, and all of that. I forgot what the name of it is. I watched it a long time ago. Me and my daughter, we watch all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, the whole family is. Yeah. They do knowingly. They knowingly do spell work. If you're talking about, who are you asking? Let me see. Do they do it unknowingly? So here's the thing about that question right there. Really, people really don't know what they're doing, because you have your 5D self and you have your 3-dimensional self. So if you're not in tune with your 5D self, 9 times out of 10, people make decisions and do things and don't know why they're doing it. That's because their 5D self is running the show. And if their 5D self is not balanced, meaning that it's not balanced, where it's not operating in a high frequency and it's operating in ego, and they're not operating, operating in a high frequency, then what happens is the ego runs the higher self, and then it has the 3D self doing stupid stuff, okay? So sometimes they know what they're doing, sometimes they don't. 9 times out of 10, these people don't know what they be doing. They don't know why they want to be like somebody or look like somebody or, have the same, they don't know, okay? Same calling, same gifts. I've seen people be jealous of people's gifts, their calling, what they got going on and all of that stuff, and they don't even know why. That's their 5D self that operates in their ego, okay? So that's that right there, okay? So how it shows up. So how it shows up is when you're going to second guess yourself. You second guess yourself, okay? The next one is you have a fear of being seen. How many of y'all are afraid to be seen? Are you afraid to be seen? Okay? The more you step out of that visibility wound, the more you beat this. The only way to beat all of this stuff is to step into your power, step into who you are. You start over-explaining yourself. Okay? You shrink your truth. And we ain't doing that around here. The truth is the truth. You delay your decisions and your launches. You delay decisions and launches. You keep saying, oh, I'm going to do it next year. I'm going to do it this month. You delay decisions and launches. Everybody should be launching something. Everybody should be doing something. Come on now. It's 2026. Start wearing your identity and then nobody can steal it. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, I stopped posting LOL. When I do, I get anxiety, want to delete it, and that's weird. Yep. Yeah, that's what this is. Somebody here, your crown may not be in intact or something like that. Okay, so you got to work on getting that. Every single day, y'all should be getting up in the morning and looking at your crown and your throne. And you should see yourself on a 5D level. Okay, I know when my 5D self, she chants all the time. She moves around a lot. And when she get exhausted, she just like sitting there asleep. That's just like my energy my 3D self saying that I need to sit down and rest. Okay, so you should be getting up every day looking at your crown in the 5D room, and you should be looking at your throne. What does your throne seat look like? What does it look like when you're literally visualizing yourself and you want to go walk on that seat? Okay. Yeah, you got to push through that. You got to push through that. Yeah. I mean, fear of speaking and visibility is also a wound. It may not be from this lifetime. It could be from a previous lifetime. Maybe you were persecuted. You like, I don't know why I'm like that. Where this is coming from. I've never been bullied or something like that. It could be a fear from a previous lifetime as well, too. Okay. All right. Let's move on. The next one we're going to talk about is parallel timelines real quick. I know I talked about that a little bit, so we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to answer any questions anybody may have. You can type those as well, too. Okay. All right. So the next one is parallel. We're going to talk about parallel timelines. Okay. All right. Parallel timelines is this when two or more outcomes are available, depending on your choice. This is where you have two or more outcomes. Okay? So when somebody hijacks your timeline, again, like I said, they got you on two timelines. You possibly live in two outcomes. You know, they kind of basically put a veil or they shadow you so that you can't see the other outcome. You know, you ever felt like you could make a different decision or choose a different path? That's what that kind of is. I hope I'm not getting sick. Lord have mercy. I'm going to have to give me some echinacea when I get off of here. Okay. All false. Okay, you don't follow me, so I'm just going to kick you out of here. Whew. So the remedy is to just do the opposite actions. To what? Okay, that's how we get our crown back. Okay. Oh, do the opposite and you get your crown. Exactly. Yeah. Once you start living into your identity, you'll be fine. Okay. And the guy that just said something, I blocked him out of here. All false. Everything that I'm telling y'all, I did myself and I lived through it. I am a true example and testimony of everything that I'm saying. So I'm not getting up on here and saying anything that I read in a textbook. I'm getting up here because I lived through the experience and I questioned my experience. I researched my experience. I wanted to look into what was going on and all of that. I did deeper knowledge and study into all of this. So this is not anything that I'm just pulling a hat out of the sky. I don't watch videos about this stuff. I don't even watch people talk about this kind of stuff. I don't. So I usually a music placer. I play my music all day or play binaural beats all day. Okay. Yeah, you have to do a 180. Yeah. So I lived through all of this. I've had my crown hijacked 7 times. I've had my timeline paralleled. I have opportunities stolen from me. Like, I've lived through everything. I've had somebody cipher in my wealth vault, my root chakra, all of that. I felt it. I've lived through everything. So everything that I'm saying to you guys is through my lived experience, and I'm just trying to help y'all to understand it. I don't gatekeep nothing. Okay? The only thing I gatekeep is information that if the person is not ready to receive it. So I may not say something because I feel like maybe that, you know, the collective's not ready to receive it or people are not ready to receive it. But 9 times out of 10, I pretty much give everything. Okay? Yeah, thank you. I've been through some of the same experience, so it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So that's why I'm just explaining. You know, somebody came here, whatever. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is parallel timelines. Okay, so this is how you know you're living on a parallel timeline. You have peace versus chaos. 1 minute is peaceful, the next minute is chaotic. 1 minute you're disciplined. Remember we talked about Paula going to the... Remember we said Paula was going to the gym, right? She was in a parallel timeline. One day she went to the gym, then she would skip a week, and then she'll go back. She has discipline versus comfort. 1 minute she's disciplined, the next minute she's comfortable. In order to get out of your timeline, you have to be uncomfortable. You have to push yourself. Okay, so you got to be uncomfortable. The next one is authority versus approval. Are you living in your authority or are you living in somebody else's approval system? Okay, are you stepping in your authority or are you living in somebody else's approval? Okay, this could be family approval, religious approval, your husband, wife approval, girlfriend, boyfriend approval. You living in somebody else's approval. You want to get approved by everybody, but then you want to be in your authority. You're living in 2 different parallel timelines, you know. The next one is going to be consistency versus excuses. Consistency versus excuses. Keep making excuses. Keep making excuses. Okay? This is me right now for the gym. I've been trying to get myself back in the gym for some odd reason because I used to work out 6 days a week. Right? Smokey, get off my table. I used to work out 6 days a week. And for some odd reason, it's like I can't get back to that timeline to working out 6 days a week. I don't know what it is. I can't get consistent back with my workout. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's an old timeline. It's an old timeline. So I got to really like research that and see why. Maybe I need to create a new choices, new belief or something. But it's like if I don't work out 6 days a week, I don't like working out. I won't do it at all. Like I like to work out every single day except for Sunday. Yeah, your body feels tired always. Yeah, see, my body doesn't feel tired. Well, I want to say the body feels tired, but the soul doesn't feel tired. It's like my soul don't feel tired, but my body is like, okay, you need to rest. Like my soul feels revved up, you know? Yeah. Can I explain the other ones I mentioned earlier? Okay, I'll go over it real quick. I'm not going to write it on the board, but I'll go over it. Yeah, it's like my soul feels great, but my body is like, girl, get some rest. So that could be like processing as well, too. Sauna is like a workout. I love the sauna, honey. I love the sauna and the hot tubs. Okay? All right, so I love the saunas and the hot tubs. Okay, you don't jump timelines randomly. You select them through your behavior. So don't just be jumping on timelines and bumping on that, okay? You're going to shift timelines by your choices, okay? Your choices and your actions, okay? That's how you're going to do that, okay? All right, so the next one is the people who live in loops. And then I'm going to explain to sister about the T things one more time. And then any questions that you guys may have about this, okay? Are you guys following me so far? Are y'all following me? Okay? So the next one is going to be timeline loops. Okay? And loops look like this. You know, this is an infinity symbol, but this is like a racetrack. You keep going on a loop or you keep going in a circle or something like that. That's what that is. So this is where somebody learns the lesson, feels the clarity, then goes back to familiarity. You learned the lesson. You already know it because you know you want to loop. You learned the lesson and you feel the clarity, but you go back. Oh, sorry. Feel. My hand be right in my My mind be going faster than when I'm writing. Okay, you feel the clarity, but then you go back. Then you go back to comfort. Okay. This is like you going back to Carlos. You drop Carlos, you learned the lesson with Carlos, but then you go back. Okay. Can that feeling like that past resurfaces to be worked through? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work through it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I gotta figure it out. Cause I'm a runner. Like, I like to run. Yeah, it is very good health benefits. Yeah. I like to go running and stuff, and you know, I like to lift weights and all of that. I don't know what it is. I can't get into it. And sometimes for me, it'd be the gym. Like if I'm at a gym that I don't feel connected to, I don't like working out either. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. So this is what happens when you're living on a loop. So signs you're in the loop, you keep attracting the same relationships, same relationship patterns, same people. You're on a loop. Okay, get off the loop. Okay, same money problems. You're on the loop. Okay, you got the same money problems, or you are emotionally spending, things of that sort. Yeah, look, same emotional reactions. Emotions is everything. You got the same emotional reaction to something. Emotions, emotions, emotions. Work on your emotions. The next one, same delays after progress. Same delays after progress. Okay. All right, so that's that right there. So how are the timelines fixed? We're going to go through real quick the T's again. So Sister Girl asked me about the T's and stuff. So that's the timeline loops. We're going to talk about how you get off this stuff, okay? And then I'm going to tell her really quick. I'm going to write, let's write over here the T's. Remember, you guys, your wounds and your karmic lessons are not the same. So you got T negative plus timelines, and you have T negative timelines. So it's 3, 5, 7, 9/10. It go from 1 to 10, but I'm only writing 3, 5, 7, 9, and 10. Those are the different types of timelines. Okay, so this one is positive one, you're improving. So this is improvement, T plus 1. 3 is you making better decisions. 5 is opportunities. 7 is authority starts to stabilize. Okay, and then 10 is leadership. This is kind of like leadership here. I can't fit this in here. All right. I'm explaining it really fast because I have to go soon. This one, 9 and 10, is you going through a collapse, a complete collapse. So this is the difference. So 7 would be like authority, but burnout. Over here, you burnt out. Over here, you're in your authority. Number 5 would be stress, money stress. I'm just going to put $ stress. But over here on the 5, you are getting opportunities. You can get jobs easily, opportunities easily. Okay, I'm trying to squeeze this in. 3 would be better decisions. But over here, it's like you're repeating stuff. You're repeating or you looping. Over here is better decisions. And T plus 1 is going to be clarity. We're just going to put clarity for T plus 1. Clarity. Over here is overthinking. You don't have no clarity. You're always overthinking something. Okay? Now be mindful of people trying to pull you back on your timelines too. All right. So we're going to talk about how to correct it really quickly. Okay, not with force. You are never supposed to force anything. You have to be in alignment. Push yourself into alignment. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Now, what I do timeline work. I don't force anything when it comes. I cannot do that. Okay, I work with Archangel Metatron because Archangel Metatron, he is the person that helps with He's the overseer for contracts and timelines. Okay, that's what he do. So if you guys ever, I'm just gonna, let me see. I guess I could put this over here. So if you know anything about the throne room is broken up into different departments. Okay, and so one of the departments is the Akashic Library. Okay, but then another department is the actual contracts and timeline stuff. So contracts here, and then you could just say timelines would be here, okay? Contracts is in its own department. Akashic Library is something different. So the library will hold all of this stuff right here, okay? So that's how it works. They have different departments. You got the Justice Department, like the Spiritual Court Department as well too, and all of that, okay? So that's that. I don't want to get too much into that. I will teach that in tier 3, okay? But you have the Archangel Metatron. I forgot to put his name. His name is Archangel Metatron. Okay, that's who I work with. I work very closely with Archangel Metatron because he oversees everything that I does, and he does corrections. So anything, he does corrections. So you want to make sure that you're in alignment, okay? So basically somebody who is not in their authority, let's say, Tiffany, I don't really know nothing about my authority or where my authority lies at and all of that stuff like that. I'm still trying to work on understanding my authority, my crown, and all of that stuff. You may need a little help to, like, basically stabilizing, or what would the other word be? Stabilizing or just adjusting your timeline. So what I go in and do, I collapse the timelines. Am I spelling collapse right? Okay. I collapse the timeline. And so what I do is I collapse the timeline to get you into alignment. So basically I'm just like, let's get over here. Let's close this out and let's get over here. Okay. And so let's get you over here in alignment so that you can, your nervous system can calm down. You can start making better choices. You can start believing, you know, things that you want to believe or create. Sometimes I wipe the whole thing clean, and then you got to go in and start, like, you know, start over by activating your contracts that you're supposed to be on. So alignment is going to be the first thing. Okay, you don't want to force anything that you're not supposed to be doing. You don't want to manipulate anything that you're not. This is not manipulation. This is not spell work and all of that stuff. Okay, so you don't want to. That's more like magic. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that, okay, Paula is supposed to be, she's delayed on her timeline. She's supposed to already be walking in her purpose. She's supposed to already been married. She's supposed to already be doing this and doing that. Let's collapse this out because she's been delayed or she's been hijacked or something happened. Let's close that out, collapse that, and get her stabilized and adjusted and get her back into alignment. That's what timeline work. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Is when you actually recognize something's going on around you and you pushing yourself back into alignment. Sometimes people find it hard to do it on their own because one, they could be on a parallel timeline, or two, they could have got stolen from, things of that sort. Okay, so that's that right there. Now let's talk about again how you correct it. The next one is going to be identity reinforcement. You have to work on your identity. Okay, be who you are. Study who you are. Study who you are. Okay, which I do a lot of. For those of you who don't know me, I am Syrian. I'm from Syrian. I'm also Palladian. Okay. Syrian, Palladian, and I'm an earth angel from the seraphims. Okay. So that's who I trained with. I'm not an actual angel. I reincarnated here with training from the seraphim, lineage. Okay. A lot of people think they're actual angel. You carry angelic coding from a certain angelic lineage tribe, and you reincarnated back here on earth for a specific assignment or specific mission or purpose. So I'm here for Palladian to help teach and awakening. Syrian would be for me, step into my code, my authority. So this is what all of that is. You need to study who you actually are. So if you get a code soul decoding from you, or you ever got one, and I told you was Lyrian, Lyrians are big deals. You know, Lyrians lost the war to the Orions and stuff like that. So that's really big as well too. Sirian, Lyrian here. Yes. So you need to study that. What do Sirians do? What do they come back here for? Okay. Things of that sort. Is that for everyone? That's for everyone. You may be from a different lineage. So angels come from angelic as well as earth. So, because you can be a lineage of, like, let's say, like the Egyptian tribe as well too. So earth angels can carry DNA training. It's all matter who you train with. That's what earth angels are. Okay. Yes, that's good. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. Okay. The link is in my bio, okay? The link is in my bio. You're going to do the soul decoded and contract cancellation. I'll tell you everything on there, okay? Okay. This is not on my YouTube. I may upload this on my YouTube. But yeah, if you go on my site, you can get it on there as well too. You speak a language and you don't understand what the language is. So when it comes to languages, a lot of people don't understand light language. And I was talking about this yesterday on the podcast. A lot of people don't understand there's light language and then you have tone work. Okay, so light language would be something from your like star seed tribe. Okay, like if you're a star seed, everybody don't have light language access because they may not be an actual star seed. And then you have tone word. Tone word is your authority word. So for instance, and I'm going to speak mine's, the two difference that I'm saying. So, hey Valerie. So let's say for tone and word. So my wealth tone, let me see, do I want to do that one? Let's do my heart tone. My heart tone is hakaraki, harakayayi, harakayi. That's my heart tone. Okay, hakarakarakayi. That's my heart tone. But light language is going to be like that's more of like light language. And then you have Syrian light language. My Syrian light language is more like it's like that. So light language is more of like a straight tone. I mean, a straight language, like you're going through. Yeah. But toning is more, yes, it's more like the tongues kind of like speaking. So a lot of people don't understand that. So if I'm doing activation work, my wealth, or I'm doing my codex, because my candles are codex and I'm speaking wealth over the candles for them to be activated, I'm going to say, Umaku sakata harayakita haramaku akata karayi. That's my wealth activation tone. Okay? Yeah. So that's what that is right there. Okay? All right. So a lot of people don't understand that as well. So that's another one. Okay? If you need to get your timeline back, you have to do timeline restoration work with me. Okay, that's timeline restoration work. So that's the difference. You see people doing light language. You see people doing hand light language. That's more light language. But if I'm doing my toning because I do that with like my scroll work, I do more toning work, activation work, all of that, then I'm going to use my tones. Okay, so that's what I teach in the high. So my training, my academy is more teaching you to step into your authority through principles, protocols, and things of that from the throne room. It's not necessarily teaching you like healing and all of that and stuff, and all that good stuff is fine. But what type of healer are you? And how do you actually heal somebody? Like, how do you actually transform somebody on a soul level? You're not a genie. That's one thing, right? So how do you actually do that as well, too? All right. Can you start tier 2? Yes, you can. Yeah. So you can do any of the tiers, but tier 3, you need to get approval from me from tier 3. Because tier 3, how what? Y'all saying how, but how what? You need to back that up with a question. Oh, when you go into prayer. Yeah, same here. So like when I'm in church, I go into my toning work. If I'm in my car, you know, I go into it and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll come. Mine came out of like nowhere. It came out of nowhere. I was actually in the parking lot because I love sitting in my car. Okay, yeah. You want to join? Oh, the program. Everything is in my link in the bio. Okay, so if you click in there, you'll see all of my stuff on my link tree. Okay. All right. So what time? Okay. I'm good timing. So that's how that works as well too. So you want to make sure that you are reinforcing your actual identity. You need to study who you are, what you are, and how you reincarnated. I remember my elder, I had went to her and I told my elder, I said, I think I'm an earth angel. And she said, you very well may be. But she said, you got to embody that, honey. I was like, oh, okay. You know, so we could be without, you know, we could be all of these things. But if you don't really embody that or step into that, it don't matter what you are. You know? Yeah. So she was like, I was like, I think I'm an earth angel. And she's like, that very well may be, you know? And she was just like, but you gotta embody that, honey. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so that's how that works right there, okay? Thank you. You got your candles. Yay! Which one do you like? The Millionaire Magnet and Baccarat Rouge is top tier. Okay, it smells so good. So mine's too. I can't wait to pick it, but I don't understand it. Yeah. So I teach in tier 2. Tier 1, we went over a little bit like with the tone one, but tier 2, thank you for the follow. Oh, you got the cleanse and protect. Okay. Yeah, the Baccarat Rouge is the bomb. Okay, I love that candle. I'm actually ready to make my own batches of them. Okay, sometimes a variable can trigger traumas even when there's positive tone applied at the same time. Okay, sometimes a variable. Okay, I didn't think about that. Okay, that's something to look into, Mark. Thank you for that. Okay. You waiting on that one. Yeah. And you know what, Siri? I sent out so many orders, and then when I checked to see if I had one left, I was like, I got Sierra's candle left, so I just sent yours out today. I'm so sorry. You finna get what I need to cleanse and protect and don't see it listed. That's the #1 seller. Everybody love the cleanse and protect. Let me see. I love it too. That would be one. Oh, it's not on there. Okay, so let me see. How do I add it? Let me see. How do I add the products on there? Oh, add. That's weird. I don't see it on here either. Let me see. Oh, it's out of stock. That's why. Okay, so it's out of stock. I didn't even know it was out of stock. I'm sorry. Darn. I got a whole slew of them over there. Let me see if it'll let me. No, it won't let me add it on there. So, let me see if my daughter had my extra phone. Hold on a second. Let me see if she has I got a whole shelf of them. Hold on. Brianna! Do you have my extra phone? I have it. Yeah, I can't find it. I need you to add cleanse and protect on there and send me out of stock. Yeah, and I need you to drop me off before you pick up duty. Thank you. Tell my mom that's a lot. I mean, I could just take my card and you could take your card and then we'd be great. All right, my daughter going to add it on there. Atlanta was awesome. Shout out to everybody that came in Atlanta. Atlanta was bomb. I was so happy to meet everybody. I met Delicia, Manaya, Charity, Yolanda. Who else came? That was my first time meeting. Manaya brought me some beautiful flowers. Let me see if I can show y'all the flowers she brought. I need to put them in some water. She brought me these beautiful flowers, you guys. I need to put them in some water. Or at least hang them up and stuff. And then you can still smell them. They're so pretty, but I need to put them in some water because I had to travel through my suitcase. But she brought me these beautiful like bouquet of flowers. They were so pretty. So I'm very thankful. I know I'm doing Houston in April. Okay. Yes, I'm going to do Houston in April. We're doing Houston on a Saturday 4/2. So I'm going to try to do these portal events on the Saturday before the portal event. Because I don't like the evening. I like to do stuff during the day, y'all. I be kind of like out of it in the evening. So my energy is more higher during the day. All right, so what else we got here? I think that's it, okay? Because I got to get together, okay? The next one to get into alignment is make sure that you're setting boundaries. Boundary enforcement. Okay? Making sure you're setting boundaries. Please, please make sure you get your nervous system together. Your nervous system is regulated. I listen to Nervous System, Binaural Beast. All right? And then consistent aligned action. Please don't do nothing that's not in alignment with who you are. Hopefully y'all know what that means, okay? Consistent aligned action. Meaning like if you're supposed to be a teacher, okay, but then you go to cooking school or you go do hair or something, that's not in alignment with you being a teacher. Unless you're going to cook and teach, you're going to be a cooking teacher. Okay? And make sure you close out all old attachments. You got to close out all old attachments. Attachments and I would say habits. Like negative habits. All right? All right, I think that's about it we got here. Anybody got any questions? This Thursday we are going to be doing astrology class and birth chart class. I'm teaching you guys how to read your birth chart, how to understand astrology this Thursday. So I'm so super excited. I love that. That's like my second home, second love. Okay, I can read birth charts and astrology like nobody's business. Okay, so we're going to be doing that on Thursday. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be 6 o'clock in the evening. It is free to anybody that is a tier 2, tier 3 student, and open to the public. I really did it for my students, so because just us meeting on Wednesday, we needed more extra time. So yesterday we did a deep intuitive class, which was really, really fun. I'm actually going to do another one of those after the holidays. That was fun. I love that. And then we're going to do an astrology and birth chart class Thursday, which I'm sure is going to be fun. It's going to be a little longer, but it's like, because I love astrology and birth chart stuff too. Okay. How do you know which timeline that you're on? Well, what I'm going to do is do a blog post for you and you can check it out on there. Okay. So you'll know, because I don't have time. I got to get out of here. Okay. Where do we get into the class on Thursday? It's going to be Zoom, and I always send out the Zoom link 1 to 2 hours before the class because a lot of y'all like to sign up at the last minute. A lot of y'all like to sign up at the last minute. So I do the Zoom. I send it out an hour to 2 hours before the class. I don't know how to like do it so where automatically, like as soon as you order the ticket, you get the Zoom link. I need help with that. I'm not that tech savvy, so I definitely need help with that part. Okay, but yeah, so yeah. The class is free for people who are only students of my Harmony Leadership Academy. So if you're not part of the Harmony Leadership Academy, it's $40. Okay, so yeah, all right. The people who are students, then it's free because that's who I did it for. So I can't charge my students. Okay, so if you're interested in joining Tier 2 program, the Tier 2 program is going to be 2 textbooks. You have one that's going to be for the textbook for the class. And the next one is going to be a book for protocol, ritual work, prayer work, how to actually like carry yourself as a high priestess. So that one is going to be all about the embodiment that you need to study to be a high priestess. I'm also doing a kingship ebook as well too for my men, because I think we have a couple of men that are in the program. And then the last one, which is going to be for sale for my students and the public, is going to be Spiritual Warfare. That one is about 100 pages as well too. That has angelic and demonic hierarchy explanation, who you're actually going up against, how to actually fight who and who when you're going up against them. Okay, so like for instance, if you're fighting as a Medusa, you need to go through Archangel Raphael. Okay. Yes, it's $40 on Thursday for non-members. Correct. Yeah. Yeah, it's not my birthday. I'm a Leo. My birthday is in August. Okay. Yes, that's it right there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm so super excited. I love astrology too, so I'm excited to break that down. Yeah, you're August 11th. My dad was August the 12th. I'm August 9th. My dad was the 12th. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm a Leo. I'm a Leo Mercury, Leo North Node, Leo Sun, Leo Mercury, Leo North Node. Okay. I'm a Virgo rising, Virgo Venus, Sagittarius Moon. I know my whole entire chart. I'm a Libra stellium, so mostly in my chart is Libra. Yeah, I know all my houses. I have a 2nd house in Virgo, a 10th house in Taurus. My 10th house is in Taurus. You always want to pay attention to your 10th house, and you want to pay attention to your North Node. Those two need to align with each other. So I have a Taurus 10th house, Leo North Node. Leo August 17th. Shout out to my Leo gang. Your mom 88. I keep seeing the number 88. Thank you for that, Mark. Okay, respect. I received that. Yeah, we are the king of the zodiac sign. You're the 7th house stellium. Okay, that would be Libra, right? 7th house is ruled by the energy of Libra. Okay. You said, where is Tiff? Here she is. She about to leave, though. My 10th house is in Aries. Your 10th house is in Aries, okay. Okay. Ooh, that's good. So you got to be independent. You got to be boss, entrepreneurship, or you got to be career driven with an Aries in 10th house. You got to do things independently. You may have had a problem with wanting to do things with people, and you got to learn how to do things independently. See, I have a Taurus 10th house, which talks about Hierophant energy. It also talks about leadership, hierarchy, things of that sort. But it also talks about commitments as well, too. Taurus, this is about commitments, structure, things of that sort. Living the nice life, relationships, things of that sort. So they brought me back with a Taurus and like Libra energy. So I had to learn in this lifetime how to partner up and work with other people, but also learn how to be in my own lane, I guess you can kind of say. Yes, I do know my human design chart. I'm a manifestor generator. My authority is my sacral. So I study that too. Yeah. The human design is probably more detailed than the birth chart. So yeah, I'm a manifestor generator. I don't play when it comes to manifesting. So I got the power to manifest, and I got the power and the energy of the generator to push that manifestation out. So yeah. I need to get my exact time. I'm an Aquarius. All I know is 2026 is my year. Okay, period. If the houses is missing, that means you don't know the time. You can still just do it with your planets. Your moon may be off a little bit though. Okay, you're a projector, and all I attract is manifestors, a manifestor generator. Yes, because we need you. We need you. You're the project manager for us. That's why you're the project manager. So you're the one, we bring the vision, bring the idea and the energy, and you're like, okay, in order for you to carry that vision and that idea out, I need you got to do this, and that. So you would be really great in like, say like public relations, things of that sort, leadership in that. Like you would be great in that. So people, it's almost like Sierra, you would be like, you could be behind the scenes, but in the forefront, but people will know you for that. Like Sierra gonna make it happen. Like that's you right there. Okay. Yeah. So that's what projectors are. The reflectors are the people who are kind of like the muscle of the group. I think the reflectors are the muscle. Yeah. I don't see a lot of reflectors. I don't track a lot of reflectors. I track projectors, manifestors, or manifestor generators. I always attract those three. So those are more like leadership role type energies. But they all work together. It's so cool. So yeah, I love human design. Okay. All right. I love you guys so much. Mercedes. That's what I'm working on manifesting. All right. So that's that right there. Did that make sense to you guys? Did y'all understand that? That was fun. I was guided to come on here and teach y'all about that so y'all understand it. Next time we'll talk about how spiritual contracts. What do you guys want to learn next? Oh, you did. I'm going to try to upload this on my YouTube. You're welcome. What do you guys want to learn next? I think this is the old one. I think is this the new one? Yeah, this is the new one. Human design. I don't know if I will ever teach human design. It's so intricate. Human design is so intricate. Like them authority gates. You see them gates on the authority chart? Maybe I could do the basis of it. Oh, you're new here? Welcome. Yeah. Well, I've been studying astrology for as long as since 17, because my ex-husband, his sister, she was into astrology very heavy. So she will always call people by their zodiac sign. And so she, she like, yeah, the Gemini, da-da-da-da. She would always call them by their signs, and she mastered that. So that's how I mastered it and learned it. I learned that through that way. And so, yeah, I'm like a whiz at astrology. So, yeah, I could tell like how somebody going to spend their money, how they going to move, how they love languages, how they going to do this, how they going to do that, what it is that they're hiding, what it is that they need to work on. Like, for instance, like people that got Capricorn and their Neptune, honey, you really need to watch people with Capricorn Neptune places. 8th house placements, that's going to tell. 8th house Venus is going to tell how somebody's going to romance you. The 6th house is going to tell like their routine. Yeah. Leo and Cancers is good. That's kind of like what I'm kind of dealing with right now a little bit. I'm going to be honest with y'all. It's really not who the person that you're matching up with. Because unless you got the full scope of their birth chart, you're really not going to be able to tell. It's really about who can stand next to you and in alignment with your soul mission and soul calling. That's what it's really about. Okay. Everything is in my link in my bio on my website. Okay. So all my courses, we start back in January the 7th. Our last class for tier 1 is tomorrow. We start tier 2, January the 7th, if you want to enroll for that. Tier 3, you need to check with me before you can sign up for that, because that's something that I got to see if you're ready to take that. Because tier 3 is spiritual technology. I'm teaching spiritual technology from Archangel Metatron. So that class, we got to make sure that you're actually ready for that. That means you can't have no karmic loops, no karmic contracts. You can't be in like a high karmic load. Like you got to be ready for tier 3. So a lot of my students started at 1 and they're going all the way up to 3, which is good. Yeah. So I'm still going to check to make sure they're ready to have access. They got to have access to do that. Because tier 3, you have access to doing timeline work, and you have access to doing spiritual contract work. So it's this technology, like when you close your eyes and meditate. I don't know if you guys ever seen it, but you see like these gold lines, and it's like circles and dials, and it's like you got nodes and stuff on your destiny wheel, all of that stuff that I'm teaching in tier 3. Okay. No, you do not. No. Tier 1 is like basic information for people. It's not for somebody that already has a lot of spiritual awareness. I wouldn't do tier 1. Okay. Tier 2 is more for people that, okay, I already know about chakras. I know about this. I know about that. Tier 2 is where you get in the meat and potatoes. It is a lot of work. So don't come thinking that you're just going to show up to class and that's just it. You are going to be working. You are going to be quizzed every week. You are going to have terms that you're going to need to be studying and stuff. It's a lot of spiritual authority work as a high priestess. Being a high priestess is about authority, the crown. I don't care what you look like, how you talking, or anything of that sort. If you ain't got the crown and authority in the spiritual realm to be that, you're not that. So that's what that program is about. Okay. So yeah, so let me get out of here. I got to go with my big forehead. I really love this hairstyle, but my forehead is so huge. Look at my forehead, it's so big. What's wrong with Neptune and Capricorn? We'll say that topic for another day. 333. Hey, Alana Sinchan. We'll say that topic for another day. Okay, let's just say this. In the tarot, Capricorn is what? Everybody know what the Capricorn energy is. It's the devil. So in the Neptune and Capricorn energy, you just have to, like, for sometimes what I see people with Capricorn and Neptune, they don't like to embrace their shadow side. But then when they do embrace their shadow side, it's deep. It's deep. Okay, I know. My forehead be looking crazy. I was like, oh my God, I want to read again. You know, use the tarot again. And I was like, no. But it was so nice using these last night and stuff like that. And then it's like, it made me like really see how good of like a reader I am. I missed the tarot cards, y'all. But these are 2 decks that I had somehow missed to throw out. I threw out over 100 tarot cards. Okay. I was going to say the horse mermaid. Okay. Have I spoken at the beginning of the live? I caught the live. I was so excited. Oh, okay. I didn't see you. Maybe I did. I didn't see you comment in the beginning. I'm just now seeing you. You missed the whole read last night. I didn't get on here last night. Last night was a class. So we had a deep intuitive class last night. It was really good. Everybody in there was busting it though. I'm like, what is y'all in this class for? Everybody was in there busting it. Okay. So I was like, okay. But it was fun to practice. It was definitely fun to practice, and I would definitely do it again. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. I'm going to do it after the holidays because I want to take a little bit of time off to get ready for tier 2 program because I'm going to really need my energy for tier 2. So, all right. I love you guys so much. Thank you. If anybody purchased any candles or anything of that sort, I'm going to update the cleanse and protects when I get over here because my daughter never handed me my phone. And I love you guys. If you have any questions or concerns, please do email me. Okay. What are we practicing in tier 2? Spiritual authority, high priestess work. Okay. Spiritual authority. So basically how to use your gifts and your healing gifts combined with your spiritual authority. Yeah. If you want to go learn and be a healer, you can go do that somewhere else. That's not really my thing in a sense. Like I'm teaching you how to like burn sage and all of that. That's not that here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Teaching you how to put crystals on certain chakras or Reiki healing and all of that. That's not what I'll do. Okay, I teach you how to operate in your spiritual authority as a high priestess. So that comes with scroll work, toning work, really understanding governing laws, things of that sort, really understand how things operate in the spiritual realm, along with your gifts, your intuition, and all of that. Okay, that's certainly fine. Okay. All right, I'm going to go. I'll talk to you later. Again, if you have questions, you can email me. I can send you a syllabus of everything that we'll be doing over the 3 months as well, too. Okay? Tier 1 does not start again until next year in October, and that may be just self-paced work as well, too. You can do Tier 1 now, but you're going to be watching replay videos. Okay? You're going to be doing replay videos if you watch it. It's all self-paced. It's just going to be replay. Okay? All right, I love you. And Tier 1 is very basic. So if you know a little bit about spirituality, I really wouldn't do Tier 1 unless you're just completely new to spirituality. You'll become a spiritualist, okay? All right, no problem, okay? Yeah, I'm looking forward to working with the men. I think we have 2 or 3 men. So I'm going to do a Kingship Authority ebook for them as well, too. So I'm excited about that. All right, let me go. I love y'all. Bye. Peace and blessings to y'all. See y'all later. Bye-bye.